All right, so get this. Today we are diving into the world of decentralized AI and this thing called EPIK Protocol.
Oh, cool.
You know how much I love digging into this kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
And you've clearly got your finger on the pulse of AI and blockchain too.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a fascinating intersection right now.
It is. We've got EPIK's own materials, their website, white paper, the whole shebang, plus some interviews, and even an analysis from a crypto architect who's seriously gung-ho about it.
Right.
We'll unpack all of that today.
Sounds like a gold mine.
Right. And it seems folks are realizing AI is not just magic, it craves data.
It does.
But not is the good stuff.
Think of it like this. If you were trying to teach an AI to, say, compose music like Mozart,
Okay.
you wouldn't just feed it a random playlist from your phone.
Uh,
You'd need very carefully structured data sets of Mozart's compositions, musical theory, probably even historical context.
right.
That's the fuel these AIs need.
And right now, that kind of data, it's expensive, it's hard to come by, and frankly, it's often controlled by a handful of big players.
Yeah, and that's the exact problem EPIK Protocol is trying to solve.
Okay.
Their whole deal is decentralized AI data owned by the community.
Interesting. Okay.
Breath of fresh air,
It's revolutionary, even.
potentially revolutionary, yeah.
So, like, remember when ChatGPT exploded onto the scene? Everyone was amazed by it.
Oh, totally. Still am.
Yeah, me too.
But what most people don't realize is that ChatGPT's success is built on this mountain of data,
Right.
a mountain that most people can't access.
Right.
EPIK wants to change that.
Okay, so instead of a few companies hoarding all the good stuff, EPIK is saying, hey, let's build a giant collaborative library for AI,
Yes.
and let's put it on the blockchain so it's open and accessible to everyone.
And that's the key distinction here.
Okay.
They're not just talking about storage. We've got Filecoin for that, right?
Right.
EPIK is all about building a system around AI data.
Okay, so break that down for me. What makes this system so special?
Imagine this. Filecoin is like having a massive warehouse where you can store anything.
Okay.
Old furniture, holiday decorations, maybe even a box of your grandma's old recipes.
Uh-huh.
It's all there, but good luck finding what you need.
Yeah, and sifting through all that junk, you might find some treasure, but it's going to take a while.
Exactly. Now imagine if instead of chaotic warehouse, you had a beautifully organized library.
I like where this is going.
That's EPIK.
Okay.
They're focused on curating high-quality, organized data that's specifically designed to be useful for AI applications.
So they're being picky about what goes into their library.
Absolutely.
I like it.
Very much so.
But who are the librarians in this scenario?
They call them domain experts.
Okay.
Think of them as the leading minds in their fields.
Okay.
Healthcare, finance, you name it.
Uh-huh.
These experts decide what kind of AI data is crucial for advancements in their area.
Ah, so you've got the experts setting the agenda for what data is worth collecting.
Precisely.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
But how do they actually get their hands on this data?
that's where the bounty hunters come in.
Bounty hunters. Now we're talking.
Hold on, it's not as Wild West as it sounds.
Okay.
These bounty hunters are essentially the data gatherers and labelers.
Okay.
They're the ones going out and finding the information, then tagging it and organizing it in a way that makes sense to AI.
Okay, so they're like the ones meticulously labeling each book in the library and putting it in the right section.
Precisely. Let's say a domain expert in self-driving cars needs data on road conditions.
Okay.
Bounty hunters might go out and capture footage from dash cams, and then they'd meticulously label every frame, identifying things like lane markings, potholes, even the weather conditions.
Wow, that sounds incredibly tedious. I can see why they call them bounty hunters. They're on a mission to find this valuable data.
And they're rewarded for their efforts, too.
Okay.
We can dive into the tokenomics later, but you're earning EPK tokens for your contributions.
All right, so we've got the domain experts setting the data agenda, the bounty hunters tracking it down and labeling it. But where is all this precious information actually stored?
That's where the knowledge nodes come in.
Okay.
Think of these as the bookshelves in our library analogy.
Okay.
They're responsible for storing the data securely and making sure it's accessible when needed.
So it's like a decentralized network of super secure servers all over the world,
Aye.
each one holding a piece of this massive AI data library.
Exactly. And to make sure the data is actually usable, they have something called knowledge gateways.
Okay, knowledge gateways, now we're getting fancy.
A little bit.
What do those do?
Think of them like the librarians who help you actually find the book you're looking for.
Okay.
They act as a bridge between the data stored on the knowledge nodes and the AI applications that need it. Essentially, They make it easy for developers to tap into this vast library of AI data.
So if I'm building the next great AI-powered music app, the Knowledge Gateway is what helps me access all that Mozart data the bounty hunters so diligently collected.
Precisely. It's all about making the data easily accessible and useful.
Now, this is all well and good, but labeling data, even for a worthy cause, doesn't exactly sound like a walk in the park.
It can be tedious.
Have they found a way to make it, dare I say, fun?
You read their minds. They've actually gamified the whole data labeling process with an app called Knowledge Mainland.
Okay, now you've got my attention.
Yeah.
Gamified data labeling. Tell me more.
It's pretty genius, actually. Imagine playing a game where you're solving puzzles, but instead of just earning points, you're actually helping to train AI models.
Wait, so I can play a game and contribute to the future of AI at the same time?
That's the idea.
Sign me up.
Right. And the best part is, they're constantly updating the games and challenges.
Okay.
For example, right now, you can help label voice data by listening to movie quotes,
Oh, fun.
or even ancient Chinese poems and answering questions about them.
So I could be brushing up on my classic film knowledge or exploring ancient poetry while simultaneously training an AI. This knowledge mainland thing is sounding more and more intriguing.
Clever way to get people involved.
But I'm guessing all this fun and games isn't free, right?
Yeah.
Where do the EPK tokens come in?
Ah, yes. The lifeblood of any good blockchain project, you know it.
Mm,
EPK tokens are at the heart of their whole ecosystem.
right?
It's used for rewarding contributions, like those bounty hunters we were talking about, but also for things like governance and accessing the data itself.
So it's like the currency of this entire AI knowledge library they're building.
Exactly. And this is where things get interesting from an investment perspective.
Okay.
Remember how we talked about Filecoin being like a giant warehouse?
Yeah?
Well, EPIK is building the curated, organized knowledge graph layer on top of that warehouse.
Okay, I'm following you. They're not just storing the data.
Right.
You're adding a layer of intelligence and organization on top of it.
Precisely. And just like you'd expect to pay for access to a premium library or a specialized database,
Right.
accessing this high-quality AI data curated by EPIK could potentially require EPK tokens.
So as the demand for AI data explodes, which it inevitably will,
Yeah,
the demand for EPK could skyrocket right alongside it.
that's the idea.
That's the general thesis, right?
Yeah.
And it's not entirely unfounded.
No.
Remember how you mentioned that crypto architect who's so bullish on EPIK?
Oh, yeah?
That analysis was something else. They threw out a potential 458x return, if I remember correctly.
There's an eye-catching number for sure.
I'm not usually one to get swept up in hype, but even I have to admit that got my attention.
It's a bold claim, no doubt.
Yeah.
But to understand why they're so optimistic, we need to look at the project they're comparing EPIK to, SingularityNet.
Okay, for those of us who aren't knee-deep in the world of decentralized AI, give us the lowdown on SingularityNet.
In a nutshell, SingularityNet is a platform that allows anyone to create, share, and monetize AI services.
Okay.
They've got a native token, AGIX,
Okay.
and they're already a pretty big player in the decentralized AI space.
Yep.
In fact, their market cap is currently sitting at around $344 million.
So SingularityNet is a known entity with a decent chunk of the market.
Yes,
Where does EPIK fit into this picture?
that's where the crypto architect's analysis gets really interesting.
Okay.
See, EPIK's current market cap is just a fraction of SingularityNet's, somewhere around $750,000.
Wow.
Their argument is that if EPIK, with its focus on high-quality data and its growing ecosystem,
Right.
were to capture even a small percentage of SingularityNet's market share,
Right.
well, you can see how that translates into a significant return for early investors.
I'm starting to see why they're so enthusiastic. It's that classic crypto equation.
Yeah,
Higher risk, potentially much higher rewards.
absolutely.
But let's not forget, this is all hypothetical.
Of course.
If market cap isn't the only factor,
Right.
and there's no guarantee EPIK will even achieve a fraction of what SingularityNet has.
You're absolutely right to be cautious.
Right.
And to be fair to this crypto architect, their analysis isn't just about comparing market caps.
Okay.
They also highlight the fact that EPIK is still relatively early in its development cycle.
They haven't even officially launched their mainnet yet, have they?
Not yet, but they're getting closer.
Okay.
And this is a crucial point that often gets overlooked in the world of crypto.
Right.
Getting in early on a project can mean riding the wave of its growth,
Sure.
but it also comes with greater uncertainty.
It's that classic trade-off, isn't it?
It is.
But okay, let's say for a moment that EPIK does manage to deliver on its promises.
Okay.
What does that actually look like? Can you paint a picture for us?
Imagine a world where instead of a few tech giants controlling access to the data that fuels AI,
Okay.
we have a decentralized, community-owned library of knowledge.
Okay.
Researchers working on life-saving cures, independent developers building innovative new apps.
Right.
They'd all have access to the same high-quality data, leveling the playing field, and potentially leading to an explosion of AI-powered advancements.
Wow, that's a pretty compelling vision. But we've got to address the elephant in the room here.
Okay.
Building something this ambitious, something that's never been done before,
Right.
has got to come with its fair share of challenges.
Oh, absolutely.
So let's get into the nitty-gritty.
Okay.
What are the biggest challenges facing EPIK? What could potentially derail this whole ambitious endeavor?
All right, so we're talking about building a decentralized AI data ecosystem, something that's never been done before.
Right.
Where do the potential pitfalls lie?
Well, for starters, there are the technical hurdles.
Right,
We're talking about handling massive amounts of data,
right,
ensuring its accuracy and integrity,
right,
and making it easily accessible to a global community.
right.
That's no small feat.
And then there's the whole security aspect.
Right.
If this data is so valuable, there are going to be people trying to game the system
Sure.
or steal it.
Right.
How do they plan to address that?
Well, they've baked security into the very core of their protocol,
Okay.
leveraging blockchain technology to create a tamper-proof record of data ownership and transactions.
Okay.
Plus, remember those knowledge nodes we talked about?
Yeah.
They're designed with redundancy in mind.
Okay.
But even if one node goes down, the data is still safe and sound.
Okay, so they've got security covered.
Mm-hmm.
That's reassuring.
Yeah.
But what about the regulatory landscape?
Yeah,
Governments are going to have something to say about all of this.
absolutely. And this is where things get a bit tricky.
Yeah.
Data privacy regulations are constantly evolving,
Right?
and different countries have different rules.
Yeah.
EPIK is going to have to navigate those waters carefully if they want to operate on a global scale.
It's like they're building the ship while sailing it right.
Yeah,
Trying to anticipate future regulations and adapt on the fly.
precisely. And let's not forget about the competition.
Right.
EPIK isn't the only player in the decentralized AI game. They're going to be up against some well-funded startups and maybe even a few tech giants down the line.
It's a crowded field for sure.
It is.
But competition can be a good thing, right?
Yeah,
It breeds innovation.
absolutely. It'll be interesting to see how EPIK differentiates itself from the pack.
Right.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
Even with all these challenges, even if EPIK doesn't become the next Google of AI,
Right.
the very act of trying to build this kind of ecosystem is significant.
I see what you mean. It's like they're pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Yes,
And that in itself is exciting, regardless of the outcome.
exactly. And it forces us to ask some really big questions.
Yeah.
Remember how we talked about the potential for EPIK to democratize AI?
Yeah, that idea of anyone, anywhere, being able to access the tools and knowledge to build AI-powered solutions.
Yeah.
It's a powerful thought.
It is, but it also comes with a whole set of ethical considerations.
Yeah.
If we're talking about making AI more accessible,
Right.
we need to think about who's building it,
Right.
what biases they might be bringing to the table,
Right.
and how we can ensure that this technology is used for good.
It's like that old saying,
Yeah,
with great power comes great responsibility.
exactly.
We're talking about the potential to revolutionize countless industries,
Yeah,
maybe even solve some of the world's biggest problems.
potentially.
But we have to tread carefully.
Absolutely, we do.
That's a powerful message to end on.
Yeah.
So for those of you listening who are as intrigued by EPIK Protocol as we are,
Mm-hmm.
what's the next step? What can they do to learn more or even get involved?
Well, the first step is to do your own research.
Hmm.
Don't just take our word for it. Dig into their white paper.
Right.
Explore their website. See what others in the AI and blockchain communities are saying.
And if, after all that, you're feeling really adventurous,
Yeah.
you could always download their Knowledge Mainland app and try your hand at some gamified data labeling.
Exactly. Who knows? You might just have fun and contribute to the future of AI at the same time.
There you have it, a deep dive into EPIK Protocol, a project that's attempting to build the future of AI one data point at a time.
It's an ambitious goal.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.